Lying, manipulation, misuse of funds, badgering, and physical attack are a few of the many ways women abuse their male partners. The men who are the targets of this abuse can be shocked and bewildered by it. Abuse of men by women goes against cultural expectations for both genders. Women are thought of as considerate and nurturing. Men are expected to be strong and in control. Although women can and do abuse men in many situations, this book focuses on partner abuse of men by women in romantic relationships, dating, cohabitation, marriage, divorce, post-divorce, and post-breakup. I am not saying women are abusive. I am saying that there are abusive women. I am not saying all women or most women abuse men. I am saying that sometimes they do, and it is important to talk about it. 15+ deep lessons from the book, Abuse of Men by Women. Number 1. When I talk to women about the abuse of men by women, sometimes they are surprised, sometimes excited that someone is addressing the issue, and sometimes they are angered that the topic is being given attention. Sometimes the reaction of women is, the pendulum just has to swing against men because men have abused women. The fact that more than once, I have heard this comment when talking to other counselors, is an unfortunate testament to how widespread and entrenched this attitude is. Just because some women have been, and are, treated badly by male partners, does not mean that it should be open season on men. The pendulum does not have to swing freely until it happens to settle into a balanced position. We are human beings with brains and free will. We can create balance if we choose to. A healthy society doesn't condone the abuse of anyone, man, woman, or child. Number 2. Partner abuse is a pattern of controlling, demeaning, and/or punishing behaviors and attitudes with a dating, cohabiting, or marriage partner during or after the relationship. At its core, partner abuse is driven by self-centered motivations. It can happen in any configuration of romantic couple, straight or gay. Sometimes a man in a couple abuses his partner. Sometimes a woman is abusive. Sometimes there is mutual abuse, each partner abusing the other. We most often think about physically violent acts when we think about partner abuse, but there are many methods of choice for controlling, demeaning, and punishing partners. Abuse can range from mild to severe. Some behaviors are severely abusive even if they occur only once. Others may be considered very abusive because of the number of times they occur. A variety of abusive behaviors may combine to increase the degree of abuse. Number 3. Abusive tone and body language can range from coy to aggressive. A particular woman may use many different forms of tone and body language to demean, control, or punish, or she may have methods of choice that she has honed the art of performing. Not all incidents of use of the following forms of tone and body language are necessarily abusive. Motivation is a key to where something gets placed on the continuum measuring the behavior's abusiveness. A woman may cry, pout, or turn away simply because she is sad. She may also cry to control, pout to manipulate, or turn away to punish. Number 4. A main objective of abuse is to control. Abusive women can use their words, tone, and/or body language to manipulate and exert control over their partners. Many of the other types of abuse found throughout this section and book describe methods used to exert the control. A person can control someone in an instant or over time by wearing them down or conditioning. Number 5. Histrionics are behaviors that are overly emotional and melodramatic. Women who are histrionic keep their partners busy trying to put out fires or preempt them in order to avoid the overreactions. Life with a histrionic woman is chaotic and drama-drenched. Minor problems are blown up into major catastrophes. Being frustrated with her wardrobe stimulates an episode of yelling, throwing clothes from her closet onto the floor, and refusal to attend a party. Having a meal not turn out as planned precipitates a theatrical show of the dinner being thrown into the trash and stomping off to bed, leaving the family to fend for themselves. Super crying is an example of histrionics. It's over-the-top crying that serves to get a woman what she wants. It's often used to end a conversation about a subject she wants to avoid or to divert attention. It can be used to punish her partner for having even tried to have a conversation about something important to him. Number 6. People can be shocked at the idea that women can sexually abuse men, but women can and do sexually abuse men. It may look different than the classic sexual abuse of women by men, but it is sexual abuse when a woman uses sex in a controlling, demeaning, or punishing way, and/or uses sex to control, demean, or punish. The control exerted may be directly regarding the time, place, and methods of sexual activity, or it may be about the results of sexual activity. The control may be regarding non-sexual areas of life, but sex is the tool used for control. Sexual abuse of men may occur during any phase or type of relationship: a one-night stand, dating, cohabitating, marriage, or after a breakup. Number 7. We have a cultural expectation that men are supposed to want sex whenever they can get it, in whatever form it's offered, as long as it's with a partner of a gender they are attracted to. But when you really examine that stereotype, it doesn't hold up. While men may be pre-wired to have a strong sex drive, that doesn't mean that they are without limits on what they want in the way of sexual activity. The stereotype that says a man wants sex all the time sets men up for being made fun of when they don't fit that unrealistic stereotype. A woman can use this or other means to pressure a man to have sex, go further than he wants to, or engage in certain sexual activities he doesn't want to engage in. Males aren't the only people with sex drive. Females have a drive for sex also. Any particular female's desire for sex may or may not be less than a particular man's. Some women's sex drive isn't as constant as the typical man's, but creates strong surges of desire. Those surges of desire might not match with their potentially available partner's interest in sex at that time. Some men don't want to get involved sexually with women too quickly in a new relationship. They may have been burnt before by the hormonal fog that clouds ability to see people for who they really are once you bring sex into the relationship. They may have other reasons for not wanting to fast-forward sex. These men often find themselves pressured for sex by their dating partners. It may be unwanted touching. Unwanted touching may be just the beginning. It may be more aggressive moves. In a healthy relationship, there are times when each partner initiates sex, putting some effort into arousing the other partner's interest, while respecting the partner's wishes about time, place, and types of sexual activity. The initiator stops pursuit if they receive signals that there just isn't going to be interest this time. Healthy partners can talk about sex, and one person's desires and wishes don't trump the other person's desires and wishes. When a woman abusively forces or pressures a partner for sex, she may be motivated in part by sexual desire, but she is also driven by desire to demean, control, or punish. The controlling element may be directly related in that she is demanding sex at a particular time, place, or way, without regard for what her partner wants. The forcing or pressuring may be physical, or it may be psychological or emotional. The forcing or pressuring may be created by there being a cost extracted or threatened if her partner doesn't comply. The cost may be that she shames or humiliates him, makes his life miserable, or threatens the end of the relationship, or that she won't love him anymore. Number 8. False accusations of rape, sexual assault, or sexual abuse are devastating to innocent men. False accusation of sexual abuse is sexual abuse. A woman who falsely accuses a man of sexually abusing her or their children is sexually abusing that man. Not every woman that says she was raped or sexually assaulted was actually raped or sexually assaulted. Not every woman that says her partner sexually abused their child is telling the truth. There are many potential subconscious reasons or conscious motivations why an individual woman might distort or contrive a claim against an individual man. Number 9. When people focus on financial ways men abuse women, they often talk about men who exert control by limiting their partner's ability to work or access to family money. While those same abuses may occur when the genders are flipped, there also are financial abuses that are available for women to use against men that take advantage of traditional gender roles. A woman might be in a position to control finances because she has a much larger income than her partner. Another woman may take advantage of a man's role as provider, by demanding he provide an unreasonable amount or in unreasonable ways. If he doesn't live up to her demands, there is a price to pay. The same woman, or other women, may capitalize on female gender roles to help her avoid financial responsibility. Number 10. Physical abuse of a partner is the category of abuse that gets the most attention. When I became aware of abusive men by women, I wasn't expecting to see or hear much about physical abuse, but I have been surprised by how many examples of physical abuse by women I have encountered. Many studies that address domestic violence statistics treat it like a competition. Do more women get attacked by their partners than men get attacked by partners? What's their relative injury and death count? There are different answers to these questions depending on the research methods used and the inclinations of researchers. And yet, the undeniable bottom line is that many men are being physically abused by female partners, and it is debilitating and dangerous to the men, their children, and the women who are acting out in this way. Number 11. An abusive woman may use her partner's religious beliefs or community as a mechanism for abuse. She may use scripture to justify her behavior and compliance with her controlling demands, or to keep the target of abuse entrapped. She may use her partner's spiritual aspirations as a means of attack, throwing scripture at him, bombing him with accusations that he isn't complying with the spiritual values that he holds dear. Religious attachment to the sanctity of marriage can cause an abused person to stay no matter what. An abusive woman can potentially use her partner's desire to honor his marriage commitment to her advantage, keeping him locked in marriage regardless of how badly she treats him. Number 12. A woman's use of the legal or judicial system to control, demean, or punish her partner or ex-partner is legal abuse. In these cases, police officers, lawyers, judges, domestic violence advocates, and the justice system itself become her accomplices. Unfortunately, such individuals and systems cooperate with women's abuses far too often. I'm not saying that they are always skewed in favor of women, just that it is happening a lot. Times have changed. Unfortunately, rather than graduate to a more just system, far too often, the flip side of these scenarios is happening now. Fathers' relationships with their children are minimized. A man's bruises and wounds are not enough evidence for police protection, and women's statements of facts are more heavily weighted than men's. Number 13. An abusive woman can become very angry and vengeful when a relationship ends. Even if she treated her partner with disdain when they were together, she may have the attitude, "How dare you not want to be with me?" Spreading his secrets or lies and distortions about his character can become her main goal in life. The advent of social media and email has made it relatively easy for a vengeful woman to spread a wide negative net quickly. Many men have suffered through disparaging internet campaigns waged by exes bent on ruining their reputation, undermining their relationships with family, friends, or co-workers, and jeopardizing their jobs. Number 14. A woman who is abusive may have been the target of abuse herself earlier in her life. She may have been abused by her parents, siblings, caregiver, a stranger, or a previous partner. She may have been bullied by peers. Sometimes the abused becomes the abuser. Previous abuse by a male may turn a woman into a man-hater. In that case, her anger toward the man that hurt her is generalized to all men. She may even seek out men to ensnarl and abuse. Number 15. Many people minimize and discount the abuse of men by women through the claim that women only use potentially abusive behaviors in self-defense. In reality, self-defense is only one of the possible reasons a woman might exhibit these behaviors. As I've shown, there are many other possible explanations. It is true that sometimes a woman will act in self-defense using behaviors that belong somewhere on the abuse continuum. Self-defense would put those behaviors on the non-abusive end of the continuum. A woman might legitimately defend herself verbally, emotionally, financially, psychologically, physically, sexually, spiritually, or legally. Ideally, a self-defensive move is a measured response befitting the situation and extinguishes the possibility of being harmed. Number 16. It's easy enough to see why mildly abusive relationships keep going. abuse may be a relatively small part of the relationship. It may be challenging to understand how more severely abusive relationships make it past a first date. A major factor that contributes to a man being drawn into a relationship with an abusive woman is that he simply doesn't expect it. Lack of discussion about the phenomenon of women abusing men sets men up to be blindsided. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, you probably will not see us again. If you have, congratulations, you are growing every day.